Welcome back to the Jersey Oddcast, where we talk about the news, the rumors, the issues, and occasionally the chaos happening in and around South Jersey. Joseph F. Berenato, Gabriel J, Donio, and I have got a full show for you this week. We're talking about a special council meeting, school funding changes across New Jersey, and what's happening locally with things like the trees on the Ryder lot, the Environmental Commission, Route 54, some hiring updates, and we'll also get some Egg Harbor City news, a lake cleanup, and a civic engagement workshop that aims to get more people involved in local government. Yay. Then we'll take a break from the serious stuff for our pop culture moment because apparently 2026 is shaping up to be the year of the reboot with dozens of sequels and remakes heading into theaters. And so much more. So settle in, we've got commentary, community news, and we've probably got a few arguments along the way. So let's get right into it. Joe, what happened at the council meeting?
Since you asked, the Hammonton Town Council held a special meeting at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, March 11th. There, Council held the second reading and public hearing for Ordinance Number 2 of 26, which amends Chapter 175, Articles 7 and 13 of the Land Development Ordinance. Town Solicitor Michael Malinsky, when introducing the ordinance at the last meeting, noted that all municipalities in the state were required to adopt similar ordinances to bring them in line with Round 4 of the state's affordable housing regulations and protect against the possibility of builders' remedy suits, and the ordinance passed unanimously. Council then entertained 3 resolutions that were related to the ordinance and the updated regulations, updating the language for the Affordable Marketing Plan, the Spending Plan, and the Affordability Assistance Plan to bring them in line with the updated ordinance, and they also passed unanimously. During his report, Malinsky asked for a reintroduction of Ordinance 1 of 26, which regards the solar array at the old landfill. This reintroduction incorporates comments from the Pinelands Commission, and while discussing the ordinance, Malinsky noted that the current lease with the contractor will provide power to all municipal services with a price lock, Malinsky said, of 50 years, so whatever the rate starts at when they start generating, that rate for the municipal services will hold for 5 decades. And the contractor will also be offering power to 1,600 homes or businesses in town at a greatly reduced rate. And the reintroduced ordinance also passed, you guessed it, unanimously. Malinsky also gave a brief update on the development on West End Avenue. He said that a deal had been brokered with the owner of the building at 100 West End, which is the corner of West End and Orchard, to put up a mesh screen around the property and, by April 30th, have the building completely demolished and the equipment removed. In
Really?
return, yes, in return, the owner asked that the current footprint for the structure be considered an existing non-conforming structure, to which all parties agreed, so that if the builder decides to hold on to the building, which they noted during the meeting was built in 1950 and was greatly dilapidated, if he decides to hold on to the property, then that existing footprint will help him moving forward with putting up a new structure. Of course, that doesn't take into account whatever comments that the Pinelands or the Planning Board has to say and so forth. Several other resolutions were entertained during the meeting, 5 of them related to the application and procedures for a small cities grant for a not-to-exceed amount of $400,000 to replace the water main on Monroe Avenue, which, according to Mayor Fagioni, has been in place since 1930. One of the resolutions was to improve an engineering contract for an H2 loan application for funding to replace the water main on 54 from 1st to 2nd. And another was an application for a cap extension to pay for the increase to the police and firemen's retirement system obligation. The last resolution was to apply for a federal grant for airport improvements. Fagioni said that the town has applied for similar grants for the last 14 years without success, but this might be the year. The town, according to Fagioni, has been working with Congressman Van Drew's office on a $5.5 million congressional grant to extend the taxiway and build additional hangars. If approved, the Fed would cover 95% of the loan, and we'd be on the hook for 5%, or roughly $275,000. All of these resolutions also passed unanimously. Council then heard from several speakers regarding economic development opportunities in town, including Lauren Moore, the president of the Atlantic County Economic Alliance. He said that the county has been in talks for a number of years with the Rutgers University Cooperative Extension and other research universities in the state, including Princeton, Rowan, and NJIT, about the possibility of utilizing one of the hangars at the airport to deploy drones for agricultural purposes, like in monitoring insect infestation, moisture readings, and so forth, and that the potential extension at the airport, should the federal grant come through, would make such an endeavor feasible. Other speakers included Mike Epifiano from Triad Associates, who gave updates on existing grant applications, Greater Hammonton Chamber of Commerce President Ben Ott, who spoke about economic revitalization efforts within the chamber, and Main Street Hammonton's Executive Director Tyler Wilson, who spoke about working with all of the agencies and noted that one of the biggest challenges facing downtown business owners recently has been increases in rents. And that was about the entirety of the meeting. So
Outstanding.
a lot
report,
happened.
Joe.
Thank you.
A lot happened at a meeting that was only supposed to be about the ordinance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why every single time there's a special meeting, it is for this and other matters as they arise, I believe is how it's usually put
Yeah.
when it first goes out. But yeah, no, there was quite a bit that happened.
Did they have a timeline on when they want to tear that building down on the corner of
They have
Orchard
until
and
they
Western?
have until April 30th to have it
Okay.
down completely and the equipment removed.
Wow.
Yeah, and the property owner, whoever it is, agreed to the terms.
Okay.
Because if you've driven past there in the last 5 or 10 years, that building has been in horrible shape.
It's an eyesore for sure.
Yeah, especially for the people who are purchasing the units across the street from it, they've got to look at the back of that. And for whomever lives in the area, it's just, if it were still in operation, if it were still contributing, okay, that'd be one thing. But it's just, it's abandoned, essentially.
Yeah, and then if you think about the fact that the townhomes on West End, they're coming up so quickly, you don't want that there. They're having a grand opening Thursday, March 19th from 3 to 6 p.m.
Mm,
Yeah.
at
So there you
101
go.
West End Ave. And this building is what?
100.
Yeah.
100.
So, yeah, so this would be I guess the first unit right across the street.
So again, do they really want that eyesore there?
Yeah.
No, obviously not. And it's good on the council for moving forward with that, and a lot of other economic redevelopment initiatives. It sounds like.
Yeah, it does.
I'm happy to see the ACEA there and Lauren Moore. I think that's wonderful. I would like to see a little more substance rather than just discussion at this point.
Well,
CEA.
I guess it's a question of how much can you really cover at a council meeting besides introducing yourself to
Yeah.
the townspeople who may not know who you are. It doesn't necessarily mean that there hasn't been discussions. This is basically, hey, this is who we are. We're here to help.
I think it's more of a reintroduction, to be very candid, because they've been there before.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes, and I think it's he talk about reboots later in the podcast, but
Yeah.
it's a reboot for sure
Yeah.
with the new administration in place.
We'll see what happens with what comes up. Now is the time to be thinking about moving your business or residence to Hammonton or anywhere in South Jersey. And if you're curious about that relocation process, give Phil Carr a call.
If you're looking to buy or sell your home or commercial property in South Jersey, call Phil Carr, owner of Crowley and Carr Real Estate. Crowley and Carr is the best place in town to find the best place in town. Call them at 609-561-0505 or go to Facebook or Instagram. We just saw Phil Carr the other day, and he's there to help.
Indeed.
Absolutely. Always has his hands full of what's going on.
Yeah.
The schools got a funding notice of what is the proposed funding from the new governor. Joe, can you give us some details?
Yeah. Speaking of grants and government money, this isn't a grant necessarily, but it is government money. It's a free government money.
Which is all our money.
Yeah. During her introduction of the state's budget, Governor Mikey Sherrill has earmarked a record $12.4 billion for K through 12 schools throughout the state. According to reports, more than 400 districts could see an increase in funds, as this calls for $372 million more for K to 12 schools than last year. According to reports, roughly 70% of school districts would see an increase for the 2026-2027 school year. Roughly 29% of districts would see a decrease, and 7 districts would get the same funding as last year. So what does this mean for our area? According to reports for the 26-27 school year, Hammonton would see a 5.34% increase, amounting to an additional $1,648,825. Folsom would increase by 5.45%, yielding an additional $364,049. Waterford would increase by 5.88%, or $892,970. Mullica Township, 4.85% increase, or $229,159. Egg Harbor City, 5.06% increase, or $515,944,000. Winslow Township is looking at a 6% increase, yielding $3,407,926 more than last year. And Vineland is looking at a 4.23% increase, totaling $6,729,260 in additional funds. So that's what our area is looking like with the budget.
That's an impressive increase. It's just how are we funding that at the end of the day? Like,
Yeah.
where are all those increases coming from?
Oh, that's an excellent question, but I'm sure if you talk to any school district, they would probably look at the last 5 or 6 years when they have seen no increase, or they've seen nothing come from the state for their budgets. So they're like, okay, finally we're getting something. But it's always a question. Where is it coming from? What is being decreased in other areas? Are any taxes going up? Which they probably are. Taxes always go up.
Yeah.
But
Yes. I mean, it's interesting that we're in an era, like you said, Joe, of flat funding or no increases. And now to see this kind of significant increase,
yeah.
it's going to make a big difference at the school districts that you just enumerated.
Oh, no doubt, because I'm sure there are probably people within these districts who are going, if we had the increases that we had for the last 5 years, this still wouldn't total what we should have had by now, but we'll take anything extra that you got. Thank you.
Yeah, because we could talk all day about the funding formula and is it a great formula? Is there a
Right.
better way to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Again, but we don't have that much space on YouTube to do all that discussion. And it would take us forever.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the school districts are happy to hear the ones that are receiving the extra funding.
Oh, I would have to imagine that. Yeah, that's got to be a huge help.
Gabe, what's the news coming out of Egg Harbor City? A little construction and then something with sustainability?
Durer Street is going to be closed. It's been closed since March 12th and approximately until March 26th. Durer Street will be closed to through traffic between Philadelphia Avenue, County Route 563 in Egg Harbor City, and Cologne Avenue, County Route 614 in Galloway Township, from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays, weather permitting, for county drainage improvement work. Localized closures will be in effect along the project site. Motorists should plan travel time accordingly or seek an alternate route. And then there's Sustainable EHC has something called Unleash the Green, which will be held at the Wild and Scenic Mullica River, Tuesday, March 24th, 2026, 7 p.m. Egg Harbor City Hall, or on Zoom. There's an email link request if you need it. There's just talking about what's in store for 2026. Sustainable Egg Harbor EHC at eggharborcity.org or call 609-457-2514.
Yeah, this is the time of year when we start to see road projects popping
Mm-hmm.
up. So just keep an eye out on the county website, state websites, and your local municipality websites for those updated traffic things. This is the time to clear up any potholes, get the roads refixed up, and all that good stuff. So it's exciting. It's a little bit of a headache, but hey, we need to do it.
Yeah,
Has to be done.
yeah, and we've said this before. It's an inconvenience for a week, but when you consider how long you benefit from it, okay, you deal with it for a week so you don't end up. God knows, we've all driven down the street and we've hit a pothole so hard that you actually apologize to your car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been tough. And like you said, it takes the time now, but then it's worth it when the projects are finished.
Yeah.
And Sustainable Egg Harbor City is a really strong program. They're very active. It's something to be part of if you have the time and are interested.
Yeah,
For sure. They
agreed.
look like
But
they're doing a lot of good work.
and if you can't read the detour signs, you may need to take a little road trip to Hammonton Family Eye Care to get your eyes checked out.
That's right, Gina. See Hamilton Family Eye Care for routine and medical eye care for all ages, from glasses to contacts to eye exams and more. Visit Hamilton Family Eye Care, Peachtree Plaza, 80 South Whitehorse Pike in Hamilton. Call 609-567-7479 or go to hamiltonfamilyeyecare.com.
So I think we all noticed what happened with the Ryder trees, the trees on the Ryder lot, and that's the corner of Bellevue and Packard.
Yes. And for those of you who may not be aware,
Former
even
Ryder
though
lot.
yeah,
Yes.
I somehow managed to bring this guy's name up like once a fortnight. And if you don't know what a fortnight is, watch, I think it was last week's episode, where we define it. It's named after Andrew Jackson Ryder, who lived on that property, had a mansion on that property, started and had Ryder University named after him. And he was also the guy who started the Shade Tree Commission in the town of Hamilton. And when,
Ironically enough.
So
ironically enough,
for
yes.
many of us, the trees that were taken down were the trees that there were like two or three big ones that were lit up every year for Christmas for decades. And I always knew it was Christmas season when the trees went lit, and when Art Orsi puts the big stocking on his house over
So,
on, was that Pleasant Street or
yes,
Yeah,
French, whatever that is.
I think
it's
French.
pleasant.
I
Ple-
think. Is it pleasant?
It's pleasant. It's
Okay.
pleasant. Yeah. And I think the two trees you're talking about, Gina, that were lit up are still up. Just so you know.
I think those are the ones along because I know there were a couple of large street trees that were left around that corner, so they may still be
I,
up.
I think
So
so.
regardless, it's the property owner who did that is no longer on the property. He's no longer living. But it's just that property became iconic. So I think people were like, whoa, what's going on? And then the next thing you know, you have the heavy equipment out there. Looks like they're getting ready to dig some basements. And all of this has been approved.
Mm-hmm.
It just
Years
wasn't
ago, yeah,
approved in the last 2 weeks.
that's exactly it.
And I think
All
people
right.
forget that.
Yeah,
Joe,
We
the
can
you can
keep
provide
it
some
done.
context on that.
Yeah, the original application before the Environmental Commission was before I even joined. And that was done, I think, in December of 22, when the owner first indicated that he wished to. I believe there was one minor subdivision to move a lot line with those plots and then sell them to build homes because. As the lot owner, he is allowed to do that. And the application was approved with so many trees taken down and so many being replanted after construction. He went before the planning board, approved it, and that was 3 years ago. And then another application was submitted in March of last year to, since he didn't move on that one, and under the even though under the current ordinance there is no expiration date on tree removal permits, they become invalid if the property changes hands. The new owner must apply for a new permit. But he applied for another one to take down 11 large trees because the trees were probably planted by Andrew Ryder. So you're looking at 120-year-old trees, which, while big and beautiful, that's often the end of the life cycle for a tree. They were falling apart, they were diseased, they needed to come down. So all of that was approved. And the remainder of the trees didn't fall under the purview of the ordinance because they were too small and they were too few in number to even come into play. So while, yes, it does look different, it is going to look different. And again, the irony of the Shade Tree Commission father trees being removed notwithstanding, everything was on the up and up.
Yeah, and I think people just don't like change, especially when it happens in a way that's jarring to them. That canopy of trees was there for most people's lives here in this
Mm-hmm.
town who live here now, and so that is a it's. But as you said, if everything was done according to the proper
Hoyle.
way,
Yeah, Hoyle.
No one
yeah,
knows who
according to
Hoyle is,
Hoyle.
but
Look it
Well,
up.
look it up. But if it was done according to Hoyle, then it should have been. Then this is the way it is. I think it comes down to where these are development stories, whether it's on Orchard and West End, or whether it's now on the corner of Packard and Bellevue. these are development stories. The town is changing, and there's new things being built, and that's impacting the way the town looks and its character.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
That is, yeah, that's a fair point. It's going to change, and we just have to take a deep breath. I think you guys will say that when you were little kids, Hammonton High School, where it is now, was not there. That was all farmland.
This was all
That's correct.
farm, far as the eye could see.
Or
That's
where
where we are now.
NJM was, Joe. That was closer to where your family farmed and where you grew up. That was Russell
And
Clark's farm.
yeah, NJM, Kramer Beverage,
Yeah,
that whole area back there, it was all farm. And this is what happens as you want the town's population at some point to increase. You don't want an explosion and double overnight, but you certainly don't want it to decrease because that starts a trend. Since the town started, our population has increased. I don't know how to do the math, 1,000-fold? We were 1,400 when we were incorporated. We're about 14,000 as of the 2020 census. And population increase is it's to be expected. That means that people like your town want to come there and want to live there and contribute to
right.
the tax base, work, live, and play. That's where you want.
Where where we're gonna be disappointed, and let's be very candid, is the quality, not the quality, the design of the home. I just think that it's not necessarily going to fit with the style of home that is known for in the Bellevue and Packard neighborhood.
Oh,
Have
that's for sure.
changed. Homes are
Yeah.
built differently, and garages are ugly. Like those are just things that go
It's
happen in
yeah,
life.
things that's the new look, and that you have a lot of
Aesthetics. That's
100-plus-year homes in that area that were historic and are historic, and this will be a significant change to the look and the complexion of that area, no doubt.
but
Yeah. Yeah,
maybe there's a house or two on Bellevue or even on Packard Street that when they were built, people were like, ugh, that's a new modern home, and I don't like that.
It could be.
So I think that there's like tastes and things change. I will never agree with the garage height issue that we're seeing in some of these new designs of homes, but whatever, that's okay.
I'm in general not a fan of modern home architecture. I think it's cookie cutter. I think it could be placed in any town, municipality, or city. I don't think there's anything that is unique in character. But again, I don't own the lots. I didn't contract with a builder, and they can put up whatever the town approves.
And the town, if they really cared about stuff like that, they could have put in restrictions on the design and things like that in neighborhoods. You have the ability, they can do that with ordinances and things like that.
Hmm.
We don't have that, so that is will be the big next complaint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the kind of community that wants that. That's going to be the
Excellent
issue.
point.
You
Yeah.
know, that
Like,
people
this
want
is
to
my
do what
land.
they
Are you going to tell me how my house is supposed to look?
right.
Yeah, I don't know. That would fly. Now, had I ever won the lottery at any point in the last 5, 10 years, I was going to buy those lots, put up a recreation of Ryder's mansion because that would certainly fit within the aesthetic and
Yeah,
keep the
Sure.
rest of the trees. But I didn't win the lottery, so blame the state for that. Yeah.
state is blamed.
Yes.
State is blamed.
Consider them blamed.
Joe, anything else happened at the Environmental Commission last week?
Since you asked, the Environmental Commission meeting on March 11th at 7 p.m. was in the conference room on the third floor of Town Hall since council chambers were otherwise occupied. There were no tree removal permits on the agenda, so it was relatively quick.
That was
Um,
first.
yeah, it's been a long time. But in addition to, we did have public comment regarding the removal of the trees on the Ryder lot, question as to the process involved and so forth. And we also began discussing the 2026 action list. Among the items that the commission hopes to accomplish, one that is definitely on the agenda is there's an assembly for fourth graders at Warren East Soy Elementary on May 15th about the Salem Oak. This mirrors the one that we held last year. We're also looking into the possibility of an assembly in the fall regarding the importance of trees in the town's canopy. Once the leaves start to turn, we think that'll be nice. The commission is also working to maintain the rain garden in Hammonton Lake Park and continue negotiations to the town's tree removal ordinance. We were in and out with all that in 42 minutes.
Do you
Nice
guys ever
job.
talk about the rain garden? I think that was near the library.
I don't know if we had dominion over that or if that was library who did that, truthfully. That I
I
do not know.
I
I
have to
haven't
go
heard
back
about
and
that in a
check.
number.
That was one. There's that one, Lake Park, and then I think at the high school there's a rain garden.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that did they put the solar array over that? I can't remember.
No, it was near the. It was more near the entrance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The runoff from the solar panels feeds right into it. Yeah.
That's nice.
Isn't that the Mento Lions?
Solar array and enclosure.
Yeah.
So it's very nice.
Yeah, I'm sure the residents across the street just love looking at it while they're doing their ghostly patrols.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
The glare hurts their eyes.
You mean the residents of the cemetery? Is that your reference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If people know, Gabe. People know.
Yeah. Yeah. By now they should.
If you are looking to buy a home on Packard Street in the new development, you might want to put a fence up between your house and the neighbors, and you should call Master Wire Fence.
Yes, because for more than 40 years, Master Wire Manufacturing Fence Company has been providing the South Jersey and tri state area with residential and commercial fence supplies and services. Whether you're looking for quality products to do it yourself or are in need of a trustworthy fencing company to install your fence, they've got you covered. Master Wire Manufacturing Fence Company provides the highest quality products and customer service to each and every person who walks through the doors or gives them a call. Contact Masterwire at 609 567 1616 or visit their website at masterwirefence.net.
Tuesdays, when the podcast drops, is also Pot Pie Day at the Silver Coin
That's true.
Diner.
That's true, Gina. And it's located in the heart of South Jersey, between Philadelphia and Atlantic City. The Silver Coin Diner is a family-owned restaurant. They've served South Jersey since 1982. It gleams like a 1950s diner on the outside and is warm and inviting on the inside. The Silver Coin is famous for serving quality food like those pot pies at family friendly prices. This rock star of a diner is on the cutting edge of restaurant trends, constantly updating its menu and introducing new healthy specials. Everyone at the Silver Coin is eager to please, so if you are in the area or passing through, stop by their location at 20 South Whitehorse Pike in Hammonton and let them treat you like family. Contact the Silver Coin Diner at 609 561 6974 or visit their website at silvercoindiner.net.
So, Monday, March 16th, just the other day, the road work on Route 54 was scheduled to begin. Gabe, what were the details about this project and how long is it going to take approximately?
54 is closed and detoured in both directions this week as a pavement resurfacing and rehabilitation project begins. And this work was originally scheduled to take place in January, but was postponed due to inclement weather. So from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. begin this past Monday, March 16th, and continuing daily through Friday, March 20th, at the same time, Route 54 northbound and southbound are scheduled to be closed from Liberty Street to Valley Avenue. Local access will be maintained for residents. If work is completed early, the roadway will reopen sooner. The full road closure is necessary to remove trees. The following detours will be in place. Route 54 northbound detour, motorists on Route 54 northbound will be directed to turn left onto North Chew Road, turn right onto 13th Street, which becomes Fairview Avenue, turn right onto Route 30 Whitehorse Pike eastbound, back to Route 54. Route 54 southbound detour, motorists on Route 206 Bellevue Avenue wishing to continue on Route 54 southbound will be directed to turn right onto Route 30/Whitehorse Pike westbound. Turn left onto Fairview Avenue, which becomes 13th Street. Turn left onto North Chew Road back to Route 54. This work is part of the $8.7 million federally funded Route 54 Atlantic City Expressway to Route 30 Whitehorse Pike pavement resurfacing and rehabilitation project that will make repairs on approximately 3 miles of Route 54 in Hammonton, Atlantic County. Work includes milling and paving, improvements to the drainage systems, utility relocation, and installation of new sidewalks and ADA compliant curb ramps. Improvements will also be made to various intersections throughout the project limits, including traffic signal upgrades. The project is expected to be completed, all of it, in 2027, spring up. Variable messaging signs are being utilized to provide advance notification to the motoring public of all traffic pattern changes associated with the work. And of course, the precise timing of the work is still subject to change due to weather or other factors. But it's going to be a big detour that is going on this week in the middle of town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you recall, this work was even before January. It was originally scheduled last year, but they had to postpone it because of
Bats.
bats. Yeah,
There are
That's
bats
right.
in the belfry.
We remember the bats.
Yeah. In other news, Hammonton is looking to add to their roster of personnel.
they are indeed. The town of Hammonton is seeking applicants for a part time municipal code enforcement officer to perform inspections and enforce municipal ordinances related to zoning, housing, property maintenance, and public safety. Duties include, but are not limited to, conducting field inspections, investigating complaints, issuing violation notices and court summonses, preparing reports and case files, appearing in municipal court, and working collaboratively with other departments. The position requires regular public interaction and the ability to work independently in both the office and outdoor environments. A successful candidate will possess a high school diploma or GED, valid New Jersey driver's license, strong verbal and written communication skills, proficiency with Word and Excel, be an excellent team player, organized and detail oriented. Bilingual in Spanish is a plus, but not required. The position is 19 and a half hours a week, $20 an hour. Interesting candidates should email a cover letter, resume, and complete an employment application located at townofhammonton.org/employment. And they should email all of that to townclerk@townofhammonton.org or apply in person at Town Hall, 3rd floor Municipal Clerk's Office. The application deadline is end of day, Friday, March 27th, 2026. And the town of Hammonton is an equal opportunity employer.
So I like that the fact that we're hiring someone. I don't know that I is this in addition to a code person? Is this a second person? I'm not sure.
I think, if I'm not
Sounds like
mistaken,
it.
yeah, I think the current code enforcement officer was part time before he moved up to full time. I think we usually have a part time and a full time, like
My
the guy in
concern
charge of it, and then the part time. I
so my
think
concern is the rate. Let's be honest. The minimum wage in New Jersey is like 16 and a half bucks, right? Or
I
16-ish
somewhere around there.
dollars.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? This is not that much above it. And it requires a level of specialty work. So this is really I feel like this is either I feel like this is geared to somebody who's retired.
that is a much larger issue. If you look at any municipal rate around here or any county rate here starting out, it's insulting. It's
Yeah.
absolutely insulting how much but here's the problem. If you offer so much more, then payroll goes up and then taxes have to go up and the taxpayers don't want to pay it. But this is why it's hard to find people who want to work in government because, yes, eventually you will make a decent amount of money, probably. The benefits are probably good, but the pay isn't going to cover your light bill. So, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm saying it's also 19 hours a week. So this is not
Yeah.
full-time work. This is why I'm saying
No,
it's
it's
great for a retired person.
yeah. What
Yeah.
you're saying is it appears that both the rate and the hours are geared more towards someone who might be retired or might be not necessarily relying on this as
Who just wants to get out of the
yeah,
house for a few hours so they don't kill their spouse. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That would be a code violation of some kind. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
I'm
Yeah.
sure, and you can't have that in our community. So there's that. Atlantic County is having a defensive driving course. The Atlantic County Office of Highway Traffic Safety and the South Jersey Transportation Planning Organization, SJTPO, will be offering the National Safety Council 6-hour defensive, not offensive, driving course aimed at providing participants with the practical knowledge and techniques necessary to avoid traffic violations and motor vehicle crashes. Participants who complete this course may be eligible to receive up to a 5% discount on their insurance and or a 2-point reduction if needed on their New Jersey driver's license. To confirm the discount, please contact your insurance carrier. This course costs $10 and it will be held from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, April 25th at the Anthony Canale Training Center on English Creek Avenue in Egg Harbor Township. For more information, please call 609-407-6739. I am not saying that anybody on this call has points on their license or has had tickets in recent years, but maybe it's something we could do together as an oddcast. I'm not saying we should. I'm not saying we should. I'm floating it.
Thanks. That's very helpful. Very nice of you to throw that out there.
The three of us could spend time together. Why not?
I could. It's not like we'd really be spending time together because if we had any interaction during that, they'd probably consider that cheating. But I could use the 5%. I think everybody could use a 5% reduction on their insurance.
Same.
But yeah,
Especially like 15-20% a year. Yeah.
thankfully, I have never had points. Thankfully, never
Oh,
in
that's
one.
Really?
very fortunate.
Really? Yeah.
No tickets?
No, except for failure to update documents one time, failure
Yeah,
to
we talked about
renew
that
my
last
registration.
week, but yeah.
That was different. The-
Okay.
yeah, what that was, oh Lord, 20 some years ago when I was working at Borgata, I was doing 85 down the expressway. And I used to do 85 all the time because everybody else did. But this
Okay,
particular
Speedy.
I blew right past the trooper and he pulled me over and I didn't have any points. I didn't have any citations on my history. I had, however, moved from Hammonton to Lindenwold to Sicklerville all within a 6-month period. And so I had 3 different documents, license, registration, and insurance, with 3 different addresses. And he's like, "Where do you live?" So I said, "I live here." And he said, "Okay, I'm going to let you go with a warning for speeding, and I'm going to give you a $25 ticket for failure to update documents. Get that taken care of." I said, "Thank you. I really haven't sped." What would be the past tense? I haven't speeded? No, speeded doesn't. Whatever.
Sped.
Sped.
You haven't
Sped.
sped.
Yeah. I haven't really exceeded the speed limit because the word is
Right.
limit, not suggestion, since then. So the only tickets that I've gotten have been like one time I forgot to get my car re-inspected. Like little non-moving violations, so no points on my license.
That's great. I think that's wonderful. So again, April 25th, if you want to find the Oddcast, we're going to be at the Anthony Canale Training Center trying to get better insurance rates. And if
Do a
you want to know
remote.
if your insurance qualifies, you should call Michael DeRose and he'll let you know.
Yes, and you should see Diversified Insurance for all your commercial and personal insurance needs. They are a value added firm. They provide unsurpassed service, consult with you to determine your needs, and offer you a choice of insurance plans and programs. They are a value hunter who can find the best combination of coverage, service, and price. Contact them today at 609 567 7771 or visit their website at diversifiedinsuranceofnj.com.
Hey Gabe, when you were shopping over the weekend, did Bag Ladies have the giant Easter eggs?
I didn't see them out. I didn't see them out, so I don't know if they're out yet.
You
But
might have had like refrigerator blindness while you're
I
going through
could
there.
be. They could be out, and I just missed them. It's possible. And they do have a lot of great Easter specialties and things for the season, which are great. And at Bagliani's Market, they always say we treat our customers like family, with a variety of custom cut meats, farm fresh produce, delicious cheeses, a full deli, and more. Bagliani's Market has something for everyone. They are famous for their wide variety of authentic Italian specialty products. Try their Italian bread and rolls, prepared foods, and homemade pasta. Follow their social media for weekly loyalty reward promos. Bagliani's Market is located at 417 12th Street in Hammonton. Call 609 561 0693 or visit Facebook and Instagram for more information.
I was at Hammonton Lake Park for a meeting last week, and it made me think that the cleanup must be coming up soon. And I looked, and it was, right, Joe?
Yes, indeed. The 2026 Lake and Community Cleanup will be held on Saturday, March 28th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. The annual event, held by the Hammonton Green Committee in partnership with the Hammonton Environmental Commission and in partnership with the Atlantic County Utilities Authority, brings families, friends, and caring individuals together to keep Hammonton beautiful. What began as simply a cleanup at the Hammonton Lake Park has expanded to include other areas across the community. So have fun, help out. Meet at the park, get your gear, and keep Hammonton looking beautiful. Come out with your family and friends, or come alone and make new friends. Lunch will be provided at noon to celebrate. Volunteer sign up is available on the town's website. And all cleanup equipment will be provided as well.
That's always a great event, and it's great to see people pitching in to help keep the community looking good.
Absolutely.
You've gone, right, Joe?
I have. It's been unfortunate the last several years where I seem to have a resident moving in on the day of the cleanup, so I have not been able to attend. But this year, again, unless I have a resident moving in, I will be there. And I'm glad that it's at the end of March because there have been years past where the cleanup was earlier in the year, sometimes tied to the Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service. And it
Yeah.
was cold.
Right.
Cold.
Oh, yeah.
And who knows what this year is going to look like? It could be 90 degrees, it could be 3 degrees, but at the end of
Full
March,
spring, yeah.
yeah, at the end of March, it's usually decent. So this should be hopefully a nice day.
I'm looking forward to it. It's always good to see everyone out there. And that leads us to our next topic, which is civic engagement. And there's actually a workshop. Get yourself involved.
Yeah, it's nice. This civic engagement workshop has a motto that real change starts at the local level. Your voice matters. This is put on by the Sustainable Jersey Atlantic Cape May Hub, and they ask how are local laws really made, for example, or who decides what happens in your community, and how can you influence the outcome. Now, this is going to be held on Wednesday, March 25th, from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the Egg Harbor Township Community Center, 5045 English Creek Avenue. And they say that you can join them to learn how local rulemaking works, how to work effectively with elected officials, why local engagement has powerful lasting impact, and how others have successfully advanced local ordinances. For more information, you can go to Atlantic Cape May Regional Hub.wordpress.com.
I like the idea of this a lot. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? I don't remember seeing this before, and I'm not saying it hasn't happened. Get involved. Learn how to get people together, how to bring them together for a cause. Really understand how things happen. Why are there two here? Like, why are there two readings of an ordinance? What is the difference? Why do things need to be noticed on a website? Learn those things. Learn how to talk to your elected officials so you're not just spewing your issues, but how to develop consensus and get people to support your ideas. Go to this meeting.
Yeah, we have spent a combined total of 76 years stressing the importance of paying attention to local government, getting involved with local government. On the off years where it's not a congressional race or it's not a presidential race, a lot of people don't go out to vote because they're like, oh, it's just the local elections, but they're far more important than you realize. Local government is far more important than you realize because it has a direct impact on the way you live, on the way you live, on the street, on the streets that you run down. And not only that, they're precedent setting in that, say, Springfield adopts this ordinance about how late cats can roam the street or something. Now, maybe Shelbyville will be like, oh, that's a good idea. And then you
It's more
have
of a
odd,
Shelbyville idea.
it is more of a Shelbyville idea. But that's how things start on a statewide level. They often start in on a municipal level as like a test bed and just getting involved in general, learning how things work so that once an ordinance is passed and then 90 days or whatever, when it starts to get implemented, people aren't like, where did that come from? It was passed at this meeting. And learning civic engagement for that reason and for many others is extremely important. So I love this idea.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Yep.
I hope people show up for it. I really do. Again, that's March 25th, 6 to 8:30 p.m. Egg Harbor Township Community Center, 5045 English Creek Ave, and go to Atlantic Cape May Regional Hub.wordpress.com for more information. Like,
It's a great idea. I hope people
Yeah.
go. And look, all politics is local. Tip O'Neill once said, the famed Speaker of the House. And I think
Mhm.
this proves the point.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
agreed. Yeah, speaking of community, you could not have community events without porta pots. You cannot build new homes in a lot of areas without septic. So for either one, you need to call Demeglio Septic and Quality Sanitation.
Yes, because Demiglia Septic and Quality Sanitation are here for a variety of services, including septic pump out, grease trap service, high pressure jetting, portable toilets, and more. Call 609 561 3597 or go to demiglioseptic.com for Demiglio Septic, or call 609 561 4666 for quality sanitation. Experience the Demiglio difference, a promise of superior service, quality, and reliability.
Gabe, I think we have a lot happening on our calendar now that spring is just a couple days away.
There's a lot going on. And Rocco's Townhouse, as we know, sponsors our community calendar. They pride themselves on being a spot where everyone can meet and eat. Delicious appetizers, entrees, burgers, and more, along with a full bar and plenty of craft beers on tap. Remember, everyone meets at the Townhouse, 21 North 3rd Street in Hammonton. Call them at 609-561-9384 or visit roccostownhouse.com. And now the Rocco's Townhouse community calendar. Let's take a look at what's happening around the area. First up, Saturday, March 21st from 11 a.m. to noon, the Vineland Public Library is hosting NJ Makers Day Family Day at 1058 East Landis Avenue in Vineland. Families can enjoy hands-on STEM activities and science demonstrations that turn learning into an adventure. Kids under 9 must be accompanied by an adult. Next, on Friday, March 27th from 5 to 8 p.m., the Hammonton Independent Volunteer Fire Company No. 2 will hold their 14th annual Firehouse Fish Fry Dinner. Tickets are $25 per platter, and the meal includes a seafood combination platter with flounder, scallops, and shrimp, along with French fries and coleslaw. You can dine in or take out. Advance tickets are available by contacting the firehouse. Also on Saturday, March 28th, from 8 a.m. to noon, the Elm Volunteer Fire Company on Auxiliary will host breakfast with the Easter Bunny at the Elm Fire Hall on Whitehorse Pike in Elm. Enjoy pancakes, scrambled eggs, bacon, orange juice, and coffee, and kids can take pictures with the Easter Bunny. The donation is $5 per person, and kids 2 and under eat free. Later that evening, on Saturday, March 28th at 7 p.m., Victory Bible Church in Hammonton will present the Easter Experience, a live performance telling the story of Jesus Christ. Additional presentations will take place March 29th and April 2nd and 3rd, with doors opening at 6:30 p.m. Seating is limited, so reservations are requested.
Sounds like fun. A lot happening.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe the fish fry has been going on for that long. I feel like it just started. But hey, 14 years, did you say, Gabe?
14 years.
That's
14
awesome.
years of fish fry. So they really made it a landmark event on the calendar.
Must be popular.
For sure.
People like the fish.
Love fry fish. So let's pop over to pop culture, and this is the year of the reboot. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to what movies are out there, but we are rebooting movies like crazy. We could talk about Scream. We could talk, or like the next sequel, but it's not a sequel, it's number 17. Scream, Scary Movie, Toy Story 5.
Yeah, like why are we
Killed
still
me.
doing Toy Story?
Amazing.
Oh, God. Yeah, had me weeping like a crazy person at the end of 3. Yes.
Sure.
Oh, God.
You know,
Everyone
there's a
thinks
new
3 is, I
Spider-Man
think,
is
the best.
coming out. You know,
I'm
new
looking forward to
Insidious.
I'm looking forward to the new Spider-Man. I'm looking forward to the Supergirl flick. I'm looking forward to Avengers Doomsday, and I know on the list was the Masters of the Universe movie. I don't necessarily know that I would consider that a reboot or even a remake, because let's not even talk about the original with Dolph Lundgren and Frank Langella. It was not
Right,
great.
right.
I'm
How
looking
about
forward to
Coyote
this
versus
one.
Acme?
How is that? Like,
That's,
why
is
is
that
that
a
even on the
reboot?
list? Is that
I don't-
how is that a reboot or a sequel? Unless I don't get that. That's just
This live-action animation hybrid movie stars Will Forte, and John Cena as dueling lawyers as Wile E. Coyote sues the Acme Corp because their products have been unable to help him capture the
I
Roadrunner.
see.
it's
Wow.
about time he sought legal
Yeah.
action.
Yeah, to try and get over the hump with that Roadrunner.
You guys are not even talking about the biggest one on the list. Practical Magic 2. Hello.
Oh, that's
Nicole
the biggest one for you?
Kidman, Sandra Bullock.
I had you pegged as
1998, great
I,
movie.
I saw
I thought
Stockton Channing's coming back for that.
Yep. I
Yeah.
thought Devil Wears Prada 2 was going to be your number one on the hit parade.
Of course, yes, of course. Yes, I'm very excited. I already told Gabe we're going to the movies for that.
Joe, you didn't even mention The Mandalorian. That's going to be
Oh
interesting.
yeah, the Mandalorian and Grogu. Yeah, because I'm getting tired of Star Wars. I am.
Things
I-
we never thought we'd say in the 80s.
No, come on, give it a rest for a little bit. Give us some excitement again. Like it's saturated. Some of it's good, some of it's not. But it's oversaturation. Like when we heard that they were coming out with The Phantom Menace. There hadn't been a new Star Wars in
No.
15 to 18 years. Woo! And when they were coming out with The Force Awakens, there hadn't been a new Star Wars in 10 years, 12 years. Woo! And we hadn't seen that cast in 30 years. But now it's okay, Star Wars this, Star Wars that, this is going on over here.
Okay.
This, that. So it's
Do
just.
you
How are
like
we
reboots?
feeling?
Let me throw this out. Oh, go ahead, G.
No, go ahead.
Do we like reboots? I know, Joe, you enjoyed the Ghostbusters reboot.
I did because that had been in development hell for 30 years. So for that to finally come out and come into play, cool, because we'd all been waiting for it. It's like when the last Indiana Jones flick came out. Okay, that was good, but none of us were really clamoring for one after Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. We just wanted it to go away and forget that one ever existed. It's
Right.
I think Ghostbusters is a tad different because they'd been trying to get that film off the ground since a year after Ghostbusters 2 came out. And finally it happened.
Yeah. Sometimes it works and you have magic and it's, oh, wow, I really did miss these people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad they're back. And then other times your heart breaks. You're like, okay, we should not have done this.
Yeah, exactly. Like when Blues
And
Brothers 2000 came out. No one asked for that. John
Yeah.
Belushi had been dead for 20 years. It's okay. It was nice to see what Elwood was up to, but why did we do this?
Yeah. And 26
so
years later, I don't think most people even remember the film. So
I would say like a good one would be like Jumanji. Like I love the first one with Robin Williams, thought it was great. But then the second one comes out with The Rock and Jack Black, which was going to bring us to our next segment. But that was excellent. I enjoyed that highly.
I did not see that.
Yeah, I saw the two movies, enjoyed them. Jurassic Park, loved the first movie. 2 and 3, not so much, but then bring me some Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt. Yeah, like that first one, but not the other ones.
Mm.
it depends on the time too. Like Joe, you brought up the Phantom Menace. The prequels were not necessarily universally for Star Wars embraced, and now they seem to be more embraced than ever. I'm thinking of Anakin Skywalker's development now is seen
Mm-hmm.
as something that people do buy into more.
Yeah, and
You
it's
get that sense?
Oh, yeah, and it's definitely generational because we grew up with the original trilogy, and so then the prequel trilogy came out later, and we already had preconceived notions. But the generation after us, I don't know if that'd be Gen Y, Gen Z, whoever's after the millennials, because they're around us also. The prequel trilogy, that was their Star Wars growing up. So they have a greater affinity for that. And then the Luke Skywalker story isn't really their story, it's the Anakin story. That's their story. So I
Right.
think that's along the lines also.
Yeah. How about you, Gabe? Is there any reboot that you said you really liked?
I enjoy actually not so much the Star Wars stuff appeals to me, but I would say if I'm going to pick a reboot that I really liked, it's 2009's Star Trek. And I think that when that came out to me, there was a lot of, is this going to work? New people playing the iconic roles that were played by.
That one worked for me, especially since I figured Leonard Nimoy had been in Star Trek since the first pilot was shot in 1964. And Leonard Nimoy didn't need the money. So if he signed off on it, it had to at least be worth watching. And I enjoyed the first one. I did not enjoy Star Trek Into Darkness, the second one, but I did enjoy the third one, Star Trek Beyond. So
I'm
I'll
bummed
agree.
that they haven't made more. I feel like that was a lost opportunity.
Yeah, it's been 10 years now. The last one came out in
Yep.
2016 for Star Trek's 50th.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
In other news, Jack Black and Jack White will be the guest host and the musical guest for Saturday Night Live on April 4th. I just thought it was funny that you have two Jacks, and as they call themselves when they perform to get a song together or record a song together, Jack Gray. Jack Black is hysterical. He can do
Yeah.
no wrong in my eyes. Jack White, I'm not really as familiar with, but Jack Black, I love.
Yeah, and even in some of his obscure stuff, even when he's only there for a few minutes, I enjoy Jack Black in just about everything he's done. I loved him in School of Rock. I loved him in King Kong. He was
The
just
Holiday,
is that the one? Is that the one that just
Cameron
came out this past?
Diaz, Kate
Yeah.
Winslet.
Oh, no, I was thinking there was a movie, I think it was called Dear Santa, just came out, where a kid had a hard time spelling, and instead of writing to Santa,
Dear Satan.
he accidentally sent a letter to Satan, played by Jack Black, and it was just hysterical, the whole movie, start to
Did
finish.
not see that. But yeah, again,
Oh, it
he's
was great.
great. And he's Kung Fu
That's good.
Panda, so I think there'll be
This will
high
be
hilarity.
his fifth time hosting as well, so he
Oh,
Yeah,
does
joins
he get
that
the
club.
jacket or whatever?
Oh yeah, apparently.
and this is the second time in less than a year, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe you're right. Yeah. So again, this should be a lot of fun for the Saturday Night Live people if you stay up late enough. I record it if there's a guest host I want to see, or I watch clips on YouTube.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not that great. And then our girl Dolly Parton, the everyone's beloved, who I did not, as a child of the 80s, did not realize that everyone was going to love her as much as they do now. She postponed her Vegas residency last year due to health challenges. She lost her husband in May of 2025. And she talked about her grief recently, and she said, I've not been touring. I've had a few little health issues, and we're taking good care of them. And she said she just got worn down and worn out grieving over Carl and a lot of other little things going on. And she said, I just got myself where I need to build myself back up spiritually, emotionally, and physically. And she said that now all is good and that the challenges didn't slow her down. She's in her 70s, I believe.
Just turned 80 in January.
It just turned
Yeah, there
80,
you go.
okay?
She's 80.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and we should be grateful for every time she does step out.
Yeah.
And grief is a funny
Yeah.
thing. It's not linear, so I think we need to take it on grace. And she has a Broadway show set to debut later this year, as well as musical projects with Lainey Wilson, Miley Cyrus, Queen Latifah, and Reba McEntire. So she's just got a lot going on. And performing is very draining on the body and the soul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She is a trooper, though. I give her a ton of credit. She knows that the reality is, as an entertainer, you have to go out there and entertain, even though, and there's that old, again, chestnut, the show must go on. And so it's amazing to see the resilience of someone saying, look, I lost my husband and I've had health problems, but I'm still here and I'm still going to do things. And listen to some of the things you're talking about, a Broadway show. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
she's phenomenal.
at 80, she's earned the right to slow down if she wanted to. Good Lord. I've been a fan of her since 9 to 5. What was
Oh my
that,
Yeah.
god, yeah.
1982? When I was far too young to watch that movie, but I enjoyed it.
Her and Kenny Rogers, Islands in the Stream.
Yeah.
Oh, their whole
That's
Christmas album
that's good.
was
There's a
Oh
whole
yeah.
fantastic.
Christmas album? I
From
don't know
the
that.
Oh yeah, I thought I'll Be Home with Bells On. You never heard that duet?
No, I'll have to Google
Oh,
it.
that was a standard in our house growing up.
Do you have the record still?
I don't believe so. No.
Okay.
That may have been on cassette.
So if you're at home listening to Dolly Parton or just bounding around town looking to see what trees are going to be cut down next, you should be repping your Oddcast gear.
And you can drink something nice out of the mug if you do it. We've got, of course, hats. We always have hats. We got a bunch of stuff. We got mugs, tumblers, magnets, t-shirts, including several exclusive designs. We also have 3 designs for the winter: a classic crewneck sweatshirt, a pullover hoodie, and a zip-up hoodie. You can find all that and maybe more at jersey-oddcast.printify.me.
Spring is happening on Friday, whether or not the weather agrees with us. So for me, the question this week for our odd poll is, what is the most spring-like thing for you? So, yep, spring is here. What is your first sign of spring in South Jersey? Is it eating at Sophia's on the Whitehorse Pike in Hammonton? It looks like a former Stewart's fruit stand, getting a great salad or something sweet. Is it someone wearing shorts when it's 48 degrees and they're like, nope, nope, it's spring. That's it. Is it when the crocus start pushing through the ground? Or is it when pollen is attacking your car like yellow dust and if like your car just can't handle it? So what's your first real sign of spring for you? You're like, spring is here.
Probably the crocuses, because I got to be honest with you. I saw people out in the ice storm and the blizzard wearing shorts, so that doesn't hold any significance around these parts.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think it's probably the crocuses for me,
How about
because
for you, Gabe?
pollen usually comes
Uh,
too late.
I'll echo the crocuses, but I do agree with that pollen thing. I have a car that's dark color, and it turns that sort of chartreuse that yellowish color that when the pollen gets on it. Also, even just seeing people out practicing, whether it's the spring sports, baseball, softball, the fields being taken to, and I think that's great. That wasn't on your list, but that would be a sign for me of spring.
That's a good one. For
Mhm.
me, it's definitely seeing Sophia's back open for the season, seeing cars there. I'm like, okay, the warmer weather's here. It's going to stay because they're investing in the community again.
I love that place. Like you said, it's iconic in that it looks like the old Stewart's root beer stand that it was, but they've really made it their own, and they've been there quite a while now.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
long time now.
If your business or home is in need of a dumpster, there is a reliable service that you can call located right here in Hammonton, and that is United Roll Off.
That's right, Gina. If you're looking for fast, reliable dumpster service, call United Roll-Off Service and Recycling LLC. Family owned by the Grasso family and proudly serving South Jersey since 1999. 3 generations strong, United Roll-Off is your local solution for household cleanouts, construction debris, concrete, and yard waste with 11, 20, and 30-yard dumpsters ready when you need them. Serving Hamilton and all of Atlantic, Burlington, Camden, Cumberland, and Gloucester counties, they've got the size, service, and local touch you can trust. Visit them at 735 Wiltshires Mill Road, Hamilton, or call 609-561-8287 to get started today. United Roll-Off, local, loyal, and ready to haul.
Thank you. And now it's time for your Oddcast Odd Fact. On March 18th, 1837, future U.S. President Stephen Grover Cleveland was born in a small home in Caldwell, New Jersey. The modest two-story frame house features understated Federal and Greek Revival architectural elements that give the building a quiet elegance. Today, the home, located at 207 Bloomfield Avenue in Caldwell, is reserved as the Grover Cleveland Birthplace State Historic Site, the only museum in the United States dedicated entirely to interpreting Cleveland's life and legacy. Cleveland's path into politics was anything but carefully planned. In 1881, a group of Buffalo, New York business leaders persuaded the young lawyer to run for mayor. Cleveland accepted, secured the Democratic nomination, and won the election. During his time as mayor, he gained attention for exposing corruption in city government. His reputation for integrity and diligence helped propel him to victory in the New York gubernatorial race in 1882. As governor, Cleveland continued to challenge entrenched political power, including Tammany Hall, the influential New York City political machine that had backed his own campaign. His willingness to confront the system quickly earned national attention. Within a year, Democratic leaders were viewing Cleveland as a rising reform-minded figure who could carry the party into the 1884 presidential election. And President Cleveland served 2 terms, but non-consecutive, which we see again with our current president. But prior to the current president, Cleveland was the only one, I think, who had 2 non-consecutive terms.
Mm-hmm.
So
He was the first.
yeah,
That's
so
true.
that's a little bit about Grover Cleveland, and he's the only president, I believe, born in New Jersey. I think
Who
President
was born here? Okay.
Yeah,
I think
President
so.
Wilson
Yeah.
has a lot of ties here, but he was, I believe, the one who's physically born here.
I think correct.
So that is your Oddcast Odd Fact.
Good old Grover Cleveland.
Yeah, I don't really know much about him, but that's what I've learned so far this week.
So far as I'm sure there were some things that were accomplished during his presidency, but mostly he was taught as a footnote for being at the time the only elected to 2 non-consecutive terms.
Okay. So what's the weather going to be? Are we going to be springing for spring?
Since you asked, it sounds
Or we're
like
going
it
to
is
snow?
sounds
You
like
have an idea for St. Patrick's Day and things like that?
Since you asked, it's time for the Oddcast forecast according to the app on my smartphone and sponsored by Ben Castone Landscaping. Call Ben Castone for all your landscaping needs at 609-561-3452. They're here to keep your yard looking great no matter what the season, and we are looking at seasonable weather. For Wednesday, we're looking at a high of 40 and a low of 29, partly cloudy. Thursday, we're looking at a high of 51, low of 35, intervals of clouds and sun. And Friday, again, sunny to partly cloudy, high of 54, low of 38. So this is right where we should be at this time of year, thankfully. Yeah, not chilly, but not 30 degrees during the day. We saw last week, not 80 degrees during the day like we saw the day before the snow last week, but in the 50s, high 40s, low 50s. That's right where we should be this time of year. So I'll take that. I enjoyed when it was in the 70s and 80s, but then it snowed the day after, and I, for one, need a little bit of a transition. So I'm glad we're getting some days where they're supposed to be, because my body
Right.
doesn't know how to react otherwise.
It's all about you, Joe.
It is all about me. Yes. Well, this is Hammonton. I'm Joe Berenato. So what are you going to do?
That's right.
This has been another fun episode of the Jersey Oddcast. You can find us online at jerseyoddcast.com. You can find us on all the social media things: Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You can always email us, jerseyoddcast@gmail.com, or if you're feeling old school, send us a text or give us a call. 609-444-6178. There we go. And we'll be back next week with more chaos, commentary, community, because someone's got to do it. See ya.
So long.
Take care, everybody.